morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in to Rage Quit Radio's live play series. I'm your Ronin in the Know, Mr. Joe, and in today's episode, we're going to embark on something a little bit different from the norm. You see, we have a very narrative storytelling-based game in the form of time stories. Now, don't be scared by the minimalistic art presentation in the box. This is a game that has a wonderful amount of art assets at its disposal. It just focuses its efforts on the cards rather than, well, the box, which I'm okay with. Contrary to most of the games we've played on this series, this is very much each game is its own story, but it's a story that you retell till you win, and then that group of players kind of knows the story. So it has a little bit of a different vibe. Not quite legacy, not quite board game pick up and play, but more of a RPG adventure module. And in fact, Time Stories has a multitude of decks, each telling a different story. On today's episode, I'm going to be joined by Mike Brown and the world's angriest black man, William. And while I trip over my tongue, too, we're going to be taking a trip down to an asylum in the 1920s. Now, this game packs a lot of narrative punch in, but I want to leave as much of that as possible to the episode itself. So with that little teaser, strap yourselves in, take a nice calming look at the blue police box on your desk corner, and get ready to jump through time and space as we handle Time Stories. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We've set up our board for Time Stories. Unfortunately, given the nature of having to read quite a number of information for our actual ability to play this game, we have it viewed, well, from y'all's point of view, upside down. But we will explain things as we go because, well, there is a lot of reading in this game, and the time captain is responsible for most of that. Since Mike is the first time captain for our first game here, and we have to start reading literally at the start of setup of the board, we're getting right into that. So, Mike, if you would...
We'll say, hopefully, though, for you guys playing the home game, I'll be able to flip this in post so you can read everything.
Well, that's a thing, too.
I'm going to try. And by the way, from this point on, spoilers. Anyway.
Very much spoilers.
Yeah, there ain't no way to undo it. A soft and restful voice fills the air, blanketing the metallic noises that you have heard upon arriving in the room. You're 42 seconds late. Try to manage your time better in the future. That said, welcome, agents. I'm Laura. The consortium has deemed you apt to undergo your first transfer. Congratulations. The transfer caissons are ready. Before taking your places inside them, meet with Bob, your master instructor, and follow his instructions. Now take turns, because it actually tells us what to do on here. This is something we're going to get used to. We're used to being able to flip through cards like this. We can't do that here. Now take turns revealing and reading aloud cards B through G as we set up the panorama of our base. So,
very much a direction-heavy game.
Yes.
All right, I guess I will start with B if that's...
Yep. Go B through C, reading them aloud one by one.
Your small group moves into the room, with two emotions crashing together with every step. Excitement over your first exposure to this technology that you've been hearing about since the start of your training, and impatience to leave this omnipresent base and discover other worlds, both old and new, to travel through the ages and across galaxies. Hey guys, it's not that we're in a hurry, but don't drag your feet, barks Bob as a greeting. Do I keep it this way or do I flip it?
I just put it back face down, I'm supposing, so we can still see the picture. You get to see.
The mission. Your mission, normally reserved for yellow-ranked agents, comes from the consortium of your performance and your performance will serve as an end of cycle examination. Your grade here will therefore have an impact on the rest of your career. Your mission is to prevent the creation of a temporal fault. I'll read the tips and everything.
Yeah.
The whole entire card?
Whole card.
Okay. It's like one tip, keep the number of runs to a minimum as each new transfer costs a bundle and will diminish your success. When all these nutters stop playing this time, yes, it does say nutters on here.
I don't got it.
It'll be a vacation for us. come on, let's go. It's like into the casings.
Yeah.
Okay, casings so that Laura can take care of the rest. I was like, I, on the other hand, have other fish to fry.
Okay. I'm just going to start saying pods instead of caissons because that's just a... Yeah. As you approach the pods, Laura's voice becomes muted. Agents, seat yourself in your pods. Once you exit, you will have to use the timeline to manage your time in the transfer zone. Ideally, you only make this trip once. But if you run out of time, you'll return here and undergo a new transfer to this very same place at the same instant. This is the very principle of the time log transfer.
It's the beginning of it, so.
Your pods light up as you enter them, then emit a multitude of high-pitched sounds. Laura's voice manages to be heard above it all nonetheless. You will be transferred to 1921, and what the inhabitants of the time call a psychiatric asylum. We have little reliable information as to what is taking place there, but we can confirm the possible creation of a temporal fault. Your mission is to prevent its creation. Statistics. On this mission, your receptacles will have the following statistics. Green icons for deafness and agility, a yellow icon speech bubbles for glibness, and a red icon that looks like a boxing glove for strength combat. And just so y'all at home can see, that's the icons I'm talking about. As might be expected, not all receptacles are equal when faced with adversity, and those you'll inhabit at the Beauregard Asylum are in slightly bad shape, which is why they've been placed there. You will thus have to deal as best as you can with their issues.
Okay.
There you go.
Solid in a second. Before your transfer, please follow the instructions below. Final preparations. Place. Whoop. My bad.
You good?
Sorry.
No worries.
Picked it up in a second. Place the item card face down on their space.
Okay. Item or items?
Item. Yeah, item cards. Yeah, so
Okay.
all the item cards.
Okay, so that's a plan card. So where's the item card space?
I believe it's that one.
Well, it makes sense. It's green. Space is green.
Place 4 plan cards
Plan goes there.
face up on their dedicated spaces.
Okay.
As usual, folks, I happen to somehow wind up being a rulemonger of the guy with the book.
Pretty much.
We know that I have an interesting track record for that.
That's why we love you.
Because I'm bad at it? Or because I'm willing to try and do it for you?
No, that's why I hate you.
Oh.
We love you because you'll try. We hate you because you're terrible at it. So there's our map of the infirmary.
Blueprint.
Okay, the next thing.
Yeah. Number 3, the group token on the day room
Okay.
area.
That's where we
Which group token on the day room, the area in which you'll arrive.
Okay.
The time token on 25 TU, 30 if you have only 3 agents.
Okay, so we only have 3, so we're on 30.
30. 5. The mission successful fail cards on the dedicated space.
Okay, so,
Okay, so
mission
that's actually-
successful. That's mission failed. That's mission failed. That's mission failed. That's mission failed. So there are 4 ways to fail the mission, apparently.
Awesome. Face down.
Yeah, of course.
So we can fail this mission 4 times. Let's not do that.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That's the code.
Laura's voice starts to be drowned out by the deafening sounds of surrounding machines. Your transfer will happen shortly. Be sure to note this vitally important information. According to sources of dubious trustworthiness, it seems that a secret society is hiding inside the building. If the information to take place do not do that, you must locate and on location you should be able to find help, but your receptacles, it isn't, and she trails off. Transfer. Choose a receptacle, then place their life points on the card. Keep the icon reference card close at hand. Determine who will be captain. We haven't had a captain yet, apparently. This person closes the base and places these cards next to the board, then opens the following area, Day Room. Okay, so here are our receptacles. We actually do get to look at these. So there is Felix Bonenfant. Okay, so he's apparently paranoid. He has 3 hit points, 3 resistance. This is how you don't take damage. 3 fight and 1 deafness. For
Can't talk worth a damn, but man, can he throw a punch?
Well, he can't do talking at all. Like, if you don't have the stat, you can't do the test.
Wonderful.
Cocaine dose?
Hey, period appropriate.
Just saying, that was not me, making that up.
Each blank obtained in combat inflicts 1 point of stress on Felix. Take a green reference token from the reserve and place it on his card. When he has accumulated 3 tokens, his paranoia spikes, and he attacks another agent present in the same space as himself. This agent loses 1 hit point. If he is the only agent present, then he himself loses a hit point. Then discard the stress tokens. Next we have Marie Bertholet, or Bertholet. So she can do a little bit of everything. 2 deafness, 3 glib, 1 fight, 2 resistance, 2 hit points. Maria is convinced that the people who come up to her are madly in love with her, but don't dare let her know. Over time, she's gained a real talent for convincing the people to whom she's speaking to fall under her charm. After her roll, Marie can turn 1 die of her choice into a single success.
As long as it's a glibness test.
Yep. And she apparently is erotomania. The next one we have suffers from anxiety attacks. Madeline du Tillieu. We are going to murder all these names. She can do a little bit of everything as well. 2, 1, 2, 2 resistance, and 3 life points. Madeline can't stand solitude. She has anxiety attacks. When she's on a space with no other agent, she will roll 1 fewer die than whatever her level is. However, if all other living agents are on the same space as her, then she gets a 1 die bonus. Okay. There's Vasile Lafouine, who is a cocaine addict.
Explains the cocaine dose thing.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure we are in France with the way these names are.
2, 2, 1,
Yep.
2 resistance, 3.
Paris medical offices.
Oh, hey.
Right there in the corner.
3 hit points. Vassal is addicted to cocaine. He's managed to hide 3 doses without the staff noticing. Take 3 blue tokens and put them on his card. Before a die roll, he can discard 1 or more of these tokens to add that many additional dice. But be careful, if he no longer has any tokens, he fills the absence and loses 1 hit point permanently. He can also use a dose of cocaine to help any agent regain a hit point.
Oh, the 1920s.
Yes. We've got Ferdinand. I'm going to give up on pronouncing the last name. He suffers from shell shock. 2 glibness, 3 fight. He has no deafness. 4 resistance, 2 hit points. Ferdinand can't stand seeing someone die. If he's faced with an enemy who has only 1 or 2 shield, he is paralyzed and unable to fight. That's in combat. We have our bitter Mademoiselle Dumais. 2, 1, 2. Feisty old bag.
4 resistance, but 1 HP.
Insufferable and seemingly eternal. Miss Dumais has no mental seemingly eternal, but the Asylum seems to be the only place where her bitter and tyrannical demeanor is accepted. Miss Dumais doesn't know how to do anything but annoy people, but she does so with an uncommon talent. Let's see here. And then we have Edith, who is suffers from cannibalism. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Since her early days, Edith has believed that she draws her vitality from eating the flesh of others. On fighting tests, if she is the one that finishes off an enemy, she hurriedly eats a piece of them, regaining one life point, without being able to go above her starting total. And last but not least, we have Eugene, who suffers from paralyzing delusions. He is 331 with 2 resistance and 3 HP. When he moves into a space, he spends an extra time unit. That seems bad. Yet his
Moves alone onto a space.
Oh, he moves alone into a space. Yet his paralyzing belief disappears in combat situations where he shows uncommon celerity. Thus, he is the only one able to flee from a locked card. So,
Given that he's not a fighter, that seems to make sense that he would run like the wind.
Yep. So I would probably suggest that we pause for a second and figure out who the heck we're going to be. So,
Works for me. We'll be right back, folks. All right, sorry for that pause. We went and discussed our tactics a little bit. We've each settled on our particular characters. I've gone with Edith, aka I'm calling her Cannibal Quinn, because, I mean, she's kind of got the Joker face thing and Harley Quinn's ponytails, so why not? It's also something we can pronounce.
yes.
Mike?
I've got the cokehead, so we will call him Mr. J. I've got Vassal. Tell me he doesn't look like him.
Oh, God. What did I start, folks? What did I start?
I've got Vassal, our cocaine addict, so I'm going to grab some tokens real quick to add to myself.
I choose Marie Bothule. Who is...
So if we're keeping the Batman theme, is she
Who is
Poison
basically
Ivy?
full of herself.
So
We'll just go with that.
that's Poison Ivy. So I've got 3 hit points.
Yes!
2.
2 hit points. So there's your 2. How many hit points do you get? 2?
Yes.
There's your 2. And we know what our resistance is. We don't actually get tokens for that. Okay, so I guess I'm the first time captain.
Yeah,
So here's my die for being the time captain.
Captain.
So we will lay out our first location. Well, I have to
Well, he
read
also
it.
reads
Oh,
it.
you guys read it first?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
So-
the narration card. A will always be the narration card.
Yeah. And we'll stop there. So the
That's a new
infirmary is
location,
next,
so
so we're gonna let
keep
that
that
one
there.
chill. You find yourself in the day room of an asylum. It's the end of the afternoon. The room is calm, with a gramophone filling the place with sweet music. The low sun illuminates all with an amber light. The nurse in charge of the hall stands near the door. Behind her, a man is very focused on his chessboard. In the background, enjoying the light of the large windows, a young woman paints frantically. She throws you furtive, disturbed glances. Sitting in the corner of the room, a man gives you a slight wave. So, here's our
It's
nurse.
a plague doctor mask that he's wearing, too. That man.
Yeah, and his boxers.
Well, yes, but, I mean, we're all disturbed individuals.
So we've got, there's the Chica painting. Dude can't hear for crap, because you see the stuff coming out of it. It has got the old school hearing aid kind of thing, the ear horns. Mm-hmm. There's our nurse. Nurse, dude playing chess, woman painting, giving us disturbed, furtive glances, and dude creepily waving. So we each have to figure out where in the world in the room interests us and where we're going. So he's... So
Well, that settles that, so I don't have to worry about that.
Well, the nurse might have some more meds for me, and I'm the cokehead. So,
He seems friendly enough.
okay, so we've all decided where we're going. I think the next thing we do is we actually read the location cards we're at.
So, still going in this way, or be from
I would
left
assume,
to right?
I would assume probably left to right is the easiest, but because actual time units is moving the pawn, not doing anything, or making a roll. So,
Okay. Here's the fun part. We don't get to see what's on those cards.
yeah.
Only the person there gets to see what's on those cards.
Okay, so
So, because we're each on different cards, we can each take our cards and read them at the same time, just to spare the folks at home a little bit of problem. And remember, we have a telepathic power that allows us to communicate at any time about anything we see.
You're right.
Ooh, this is funny. Would you hand me the item deck?
Okay. Well, the nurse is a bitch. So I have a feeling, folks, that this is not going to be. We have a lot of not talking in this at different points because we're reading.
I mean, we could go in turns and do the telepathic portion of what you learned.
Yeah. So apparently, our nurse hates having to explain our schedule.
Where should get that canvas from?
We can take advantage of the day room and the promenade. And then at the end of the day, we go back to our dorms. Which, I'm guessing means that's typically the only 3 rooms we see. The nurse is going to be in the infirmary if we need her, and her name is Josephine, and she's a biatch.
All right. Will, you had the next location in the panorama spread, so if you want to go next.
I wonder where she got this canvas from, because it's full of math and chemistry equations. As well as the griffin. Or whichever it is that has a head of a lion, wings of a dragon, and a scorpion's tail. I can't remember what that is currently.
Chimera?
Possibly. And it also has... One of them doesn't have the chemical composition for it. Southeast and clockwise. 4 pluses and a minus.
Anything interesting on yours, good sir?
If Will's done. I met a crazy man. Only he's not crazy, and I'm not crazy, and we're not crazy. But the crazy man has light-fingered hands, and I have a key.
Nice. A rather well-made key.
Yes, the item descriptions I can read in full. We're not supposed to read the cards. We're paraphrase, say, or explain in our own words like I did with mine. For any location when we're not all present in the same one. The key, a rather well-made key received from a patient in the day room.
Okay.
A reminder if we have to run this run again where we got the key from.
Yes. All right. So.
Now, none of us got embroiled into a combat.
Correct. So now we can either not do anything or move our pawn to check out something else in the room. And this is going to cost a time unit.
Or we choose to change location.
Or we can choose to change locations. Yeah, I'm kind of in favor of that.
How about you both go there and I'll go there?
Okay.
After all, I'm not the glib one here. He probably has talking to do. Alright, so that will advance our time token.
Yep, so we're at 29.
And you two will get to share that card. I won't.
And you get to share it home too, folks.
I'm sensing a theme for my character so far. Making sure that's the right number. I'm probably going to continue to speak in something more akin to my receptacle. Oh boy, oh boy. So while y'all are reading that, I'll go ahead and...
Sure, go ahead.
I found a paper. Paper's got some things that probably don't matter. Paper's got things that do. I'm going to read this aloud because this is an item and I'd be able to hand it to everybody else anyway. The crazies from Beauregard. It's now been over a week since 5 lunatics, inmates at the Beauregard Asylum, have been declared missing. According to the police, the investigations are ongoing and the theory of an escape is probable. There's also a note about the Humbert trial, the Superior Court of the Siren District. First audience. The opening of a sensational case, composition of the audience room, the entrance of the accused makes a splash. First interrogations. Miss Humbert claims the existence of her inheritances. She'll speak, she says, when it's time. Frederick Humbert denies his participation in the affair. He energetically defends his father's memory. The audience seemed rather to be entertained. The hearing is delayed until Monday. As far as my agent is concerned, the Humbert trial may be irrelevant, or it may be a clue that we might have to find out something about the Humberts. But more importantly, there's shit going down in here, and now we know for sure. Would anyone like to hold on to the paper, or shall I? Because the paper seems to just be information.
Yeah.
As you two decide how you want to talk to me.
So, maybe all the bishops are crazy? Maybe they're interring people that aren't crazy. Do they just think they're crazy?
Or is it a convenient way to make them disappear?
Yeah. And then...
How many people?
All of them.
Oh, how fun!
So... You sure it wasn't a manticore on that canvas?
Oh, that's the other one.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
Okay, so somehow manticore is important. Somehow bishops are important, I think.
We know people are going missing.
Yep.
We also know we have a key, but not knowing where it goes to.
Exactly. So,
I do believe we are finished in the day room
Yeah.
once William has decided he's... If you want, just hold on to the newspaper.
yeah.
It doesn't seem like that's going to be an item that we have to have on an individual.
So, based off no other reason other than the chick with the canvas mentioned the direction being southeast, I'm kind of thinking we go to the...
Clockwise.
So, it was what, 4 minus 1?
Yeah.
So, if you're there, and you go clockwise, 1, 2, 3. Well, it'd be like the kitchen-ish. I'm thinking that or the dorm.
I've got a feeling this is probably going to be something that we can use in more like the infirmary. He didn't reveal where he pulled it from, but, well, we do have to get back at his nurse later.
And he's wearing a surgical mask, or a plague mask.
Plague doctor mask, yeah. I'm thinking we probably want to wait for the infirmary until we know more anyway. So I'm okay with either the kitchen or the dorm as y'all want.
What do you think, Will?
Basically, I think I'm going to be happy that we have this later.
Yeah.
It's just a question of where it's used at, and we don't know yet.
Let's say infirmary.
We sure we don't want to do the infirmary after we do a little more exploring?
You can.
We have time right now. Knock on wood.
Yeah.
Yeah, too bad that's drywall. Let's do the dorm next.
Okay. So you roll as your last active time, Captain. It's going to cost us 2 time units to go to the dorm.
1, 2, and then I will pack up this room.
And then it
We
goes
need-
clockwise or counterclockwise for time captain?
Go clockwise, and so you're the new time captain.
If you'll go ahead and set out that panorama. After walking a few minutes down the asylum's corridors, you enter the dormitory. It's a large room bordered by 2 rows of beds. At this time of day, only a few beds are occupied by apathetic patients who, between a few senseless mumbles, let out discreet snores.
Don't see what those are.
To the left, a patient calls you from his bed. At the back of the room, lockers hold the personal belongings of the patients. To the right, through the windows, you glimpse the large park on the east side of the building. A closer look might allow you to get a better scope out of the surrounding area. We also have 2 sealed cars that we currently do not possess the means to deal with.
Right, because we don't have those stakes yet. Okay.
Actually, I suppose this stays...
Face down.
Oh, it does stay face down?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So I'm thinking.
Lockers and keys.
Yeah. I'll go there. You want to talk to old boy?
All right.
Okay. So let's see here.
Oh, wonderful.
You need the item deck again?
No. I need shields.
Okay, so how many of each shield are you supposed to have?
Set up the following test: 5 shields, and it's a deafness test.
Okay, so you have 5 shields. And we are going to hold tight because you can either choose to do nothing or do the test, and that's going to be what you do is when we spend the time unit. And that'll be his. Okay, let me see what mine here is.
No, I do not need the key for these lockers.
Holy shit. Mana cores are real.
Holy shit! Did you say what now?
Really big winged cat. I wonder why they keep it in the greenhouse. Okay. So I'm going to do nothing.
You're not going to move to join us for if we stay at a test?
Well,
After saying manticores are real?
yeah, but I won't be able to take part in the test.
Not during this action phase.
Right. Well,
You can join us to join in the test on the next action phase if we spend another TU in the area.
Okay. Well, then in that case, yours is 2, yours is 5.
Yep.
Mine's in there. Gentleman over here seems to be chained to the bed. and not in the lovely way.
I will move to your location, so this is taking us 1 time unit. So, you guys are making your tests.
You go ahead first.
So, what is your test against?
My test is against deafness.
Okay.
So is this the number?
That's the number of dice you roll.
All right.
You're looking for successes. That's our stars.
Got it.
That's enough. So, you pass your test.
I free him by passing that test, and then immediately reveal.
Okay.
So you gain that token.
So
This is useful.
We now have that token, which means we can now go in there. Okay.
Alright. My turn. Unfortunately, I only have 2 deafness. My test is variable. I could stay here, and since we're going to be having at least somebody head over that way, now that we've got that, presumably,
Right.
I'm going to be staying here. Depending on how many shields remain when I stop doing this test, I can get 1, 2, or 3 items. And they will be chosen at random if I stop. But first, we see 1 success.
A success.
I will need to keep going to get anything.
Yep. Now, for the skulls, he would actually be taking damage. But there are no skull shields, and he rolled no skulls, or he could potentially take damage.
Like if there was a skull.
If you rolled at least 1 skull on the dice, and the test
and
still
there's
contains at least 1
And
skull
there's
shield,
Skull shield still.
it's a riposte.
Yes. Alright,
So basically, you would have took like a point.
Well, he
I have
theoretically
resistance,
could.
but yes.
Yeah, theoretically. Well, I'm talking about like if you didn't have the resistance.
Right.
Okay.
So I'm thinking of staying here and doing the test again.
Okay. Well, I'm
But
going to be
that's
there
going to be an
again,
action. Well, that's just when we decide the next action.
Okay, well, you're the time captain, so I don't see a reason to leave, especially since you can check the other part of the dorm room.
So you're okay with staying here?
Yeah, so you're going there. I'm going to be with you on the test.
So that's another time unit we're spending.
Yep.
So you can take a look at what the test is.
Yeah. Okay.
And while you're reading, we will take this test.
Okay, we do it one at a time, so go ahead.
3 more. If you roll 1 success, we have all 3 items.
Right.
Boom.
Yep.
There's no skull shields, and even if you did, they're
Okay,
yours.
so we're going to get items 2, 3, and 4?
2, 3, and 4.
Yeah.
I now have a slight problem.
Uh-oh. We may have to go save him. Her, technically.
Okay. I'll give it a second here and let's see what we've got.
Ooh. 5 is very important.
One would think. Now, I think we got part of this wrong when we were talking earlier. I think we actually have to get a success to take out the skull shield. So
Each hit obtained on the dice
Yeah.
eliminates 1 shield from the test. When there are many types of shields, they're always removed from left to right.
yeah, so it's still
Okay.
gonna be a success. It's
So
the
a
skulls
skull-
are bad things. So.
A skull means you would take damage. Compare this result of
What's your resistance?
add the skulls showing on the dice to those present on the shields to determine the strength of the riposte. Compare this to your resistance and resolve the consequences. If the result is greater to or equal than the number of skulls, nothing happens, you brush it off. If your resistance is lower than, you lose 1 life point. So you only lose 1.
Yeah.
So now I understand what's going on.
Yes.
You can't.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well,
Now let's go ahead and do it. Because he didn't realize what that. Well,
Well, you're still going to lose a life
okay,
point.
so you lose a life point as your action. Okay. Well, you.
And you hold on to the
these.
transcript.
All right. So now we got to figure out our next action.
So for those players at home,
Yep.
I picked up a ruby,
Possibly a fake.
possibly fake,
I got a plunger.
possibly useful.
Possibly
But-
useful.
Most interesting of all,
In the dormitory, we found a piece of paper with scribbled symbols on it. For those playing the home game.
notice the number 5.
Yeah.
Notice it's a pentagram. Notice manticores are real.
At least we think they are. There's a big ass winged cat somewhere.
Now, I believe
Are you able to get away from that combat if you want to?
how?
You would literally walk away.
there is no lock, so he can leave the card if he wants to.
Nope, there's a lock.
Okay,
There's
so
a lot.
he can't get away from it. So I will spend. You're the most capable one in combat.
Yeah.
So I would
I
suggest
can go bail.
I suggest you use yours to go there. Well, there's no reason not for all of us to, but
So there's 1 time unit for us to move.
yep. But we're not active during this roll. You're gonna have to do this one on your own. So
I'm probably gonna be dead because these dice fucking hate me.
well, here's the 4 others if you want to try a different
I
one.
only get one roll. I only get one
Yeah.
die.
Okay.
That's the problem.
So it's a fucking crapshoot right there.
But you could still take out some of the skulls and make it easier on us.
And if you get a double hit, then you will no longer be capable of being killed.
That's true. Because there'll be 1 skull left.
And
Oof.
Dead.
all right,
Alright,
so
so-
Said.
put your
The dice fucking hate me, man.
7,
1,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. When we hit that, you respawn.
Yep. But you're still in the cycle of being able to hear everything because we're always in telepathic contact. But now
So you might as well.
So
Yeah, go ahead and flip that
as soon
face.
as you free him, the man stares at you. But it's you. It's you. You're my executioners. What? Okay. And he rushes you.
Huh, wonderful. So I'm assuming we're spending another time unit to go for the test because we're stuck here now.
Yeah.
I roll 2. And this just goes to show more dice can still be a problem.
Especially when the dice don't like you.
I will lose 1 life unit.
Okay, well. Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Roll hits, please.
I'd like to.
I mean, we'll make be stuck here for a while, but at least we won't die.
Or I'll just kill him. So
I did not finish off the enemy, so I do not get to re-heal.
okay. Since this is a combat test, he does not respawn. He simply goes away.
Unless we have to run the run again.
Correct. But we can come back in here and he won't be there. So, alright. I see no legitimate reason to stick around.
And unless we get that for later to come back.
Which we wouldn't want to come back to.
Alright, so where do we want to head? Infirmary? See if we can get you more cocaine, me maybe some healing? Or do we want to go kitchen?
I'm down either way.
Um,
You still get a vote because you may be back sooner rather than later. You still get a vote. Infirmary, kitchen.
Alright.
Might as well go ahead.
Since I didn't care between the two, we will head to the kitchen. So I'm going to roll the die as my last act as time captain. You can go ahead and start doing that stuff, Will, since you're the new time captain. It only costs us one time.
Can I be the time captain if I'm dead?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Um,
This is a busy place.
nope. That's it.
Location 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's only.
A, B, C, D.
Yep. Okay.
Alright. After having wandered for some time in the corridors, you reach a room next to an empty refectory. The kitchen.
Old world term for eatery.
Yep. A rather unpleasant cabbagery smell fills the room, edged with work areas that are covered in pots, pans, and other cookwares. To the left is a man in his 50s turns to you and begins to smile after he sees your group. Back by the wall, two men are washing dishes and pay you no attention. In the far corner, a man and a woman talk to one another in a low voice.
I gotta mention one thing of amusement for the folks playing at home. In the rulebook, the example of the lock picture is exactly the homicidal maniac we just had to put down again.
Nice. Well, the stuff in the rulebook is going to be from this adventure, so. Well then, I'm thinking. I think I want to go there. That dude's covered in blood, got meat behind him.
Yeah. I'm sensing an opportunity for food or combat.
One or the other. Huh.
Oh, interesting. I do believe we might have had the wrong idea here of who should talk to whom. But I'm going to set up a test, I guess. 4 shields, please.
1, 2.
This may take me a while.
3, 4. I also want.
You would have loved this.
Here. Let's see.
Because everybody loves you.
Well, we're both going to wind up
except for
taking
the dice.
tests.
Okay.
So
What do you need to set up for yours?
I don't, apparently. I get a single shot at this, and that's all I get. I'm making a deafness test. So, I'm trying to pick a dude's pocket. I have to get at least 2 successes on one single roll. Only one agent can make this attempt, and
Deafness
got more
is...
deafness than me, so
Yeah.
we're all at 2.
Are you using a snort of nose candy?
Well, I'm trying to pick a dude. I'm trying to lift a key off a guy's belt. If you fail, the team is immediately expelled from the kitchen and you cannot return to the room during this run.
Do we resolve by order this way, or do we resolve by order clockwise?
In order we want.
Yeah.
Should I attempt this test first, since your failure would mean we get kicked out? Just so you know, this guy likes the nose candy.
Oh, beautiful.
I don't have any on me.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk my way out.
You got any on him?
Got 3.
All right, I cannot finish that test off of 3.
Okay. There's my 2 successes, so I get an item out of the deck.
Okay.
I get a large key.
We have keys. We just don't know where they go to.
Would you like to stay here?
Presumably,
Possibly-
yes, because he can go there on this action movement, and I can work on this test.
Okay, so that's another. I'll spend my action to go here.
And I spend my action on this test, which is the gift of gab and glib.
And
Okay, I negotiate with the cook. Oh, those are just... I didn't realize.
Yeah.
If you would hand me item number 12. Thank you. Oh. Remember when I said I could heal?
Yeah.
Is there any reason I shouldn't just go ahead and heal since nobody has... Oh no, you have 3.
I have 3.
We'll hold on to that.
Is it at any time you want?
You can eat them, discard the card to recover 2. Items do not take a turn unless they say otherwise.
Okay.
I will hand this to you, though, because you have 3, and I have the potential to heal off of combat.
Okay.
As long as we keep you with cocaine.
Gossip mongers. In the park, doctor and a nurse. Nurse, you say? I think we ought to go to the infirmary.
I think that's one of the 2 places that keys are going to be prominent, if not the promenade.
2.
Very close to you
You're going to be
resurrecting.
respawning here in just a moment. All right.
And I have... There's no reason for us to go back to the kitchen.
Yeah, there really isn't. So
unlike the dormitory, which we've kept here in case we go back there.
right. So we are looking to the infirmary now. I'm now the time captain. All right. And someone's phone is having a conniption fit.
Is my phone's Josh is calling.
That's it. You cross the main corridor of the asylum.
I'll be right back.
You cross the main corridor of the asylum, then open a massive door which reads, over which a sign reads, "Infirmary, access forbidden to hysterics and agitated patients." Behind the door, a large room holds a few beds on which patients are lying. At the bedside of one of them, an assistant nurse administers treatment under the attentive eye of Josephine, the nurse you previously met in the day room. Directly in front of you, an orderly stares at you continuously and smiles widely at you, no doubt an invitation to speak. On the right, a large armoire filled with medicines of all kinds catches your attention. Large armoire, I has large key. I know where I'm going.
I will trade you my other key for the plunger in case you need them at that location.
That'll work.
And I guess I'm going to talk to Mr... I was actually thinking of waiting until you respawn so you could go there.
Okay.
I'm thinking I might want to go over here.
There's Josephine and there's the patient and the other person, so.
Well, Time Captain, I put it to you. Where should I go?
But your choice.
Josephine or... I'm actually thinking the patient.
Go to the patient then. Alright, so, and now you've respawned. You won't get to act this turn, but you'll act the following turn. Alright.
So while we deal with these, you're set to talk to Mr.
If you
All
own
Smiles.
If you own key, take item 7. And it was the key you had.
Ah, you're welcome.
Yep, thank you. Ah,
Ooh,
an injection kit.
hand me the 4 block pile. I need the gray one out of there.
Ah, that would get us into the last room in the dorm.
4 separate?
Yes.
Well, now we know we could have stopped at the infirmary first and saved us a little bit of trouble with backtracking later.
Allows a receptacle to recover 3 hit points. Ooh, okay. Here, has meat back.
Is that a eat meat?
No, you can just have it back.
Okay.
Because the injection kit allows the receptacle to regain 3 HP. It has 3 cocaine doses, which I can use to either regain HP or I can use to use Vassal's ability.
I'd point out you still have more HP to be useful for the meat, and if you could use 1 dose on me to get me back to 2 so that I'm safe from any future combat would be better. You can take the hits and then eat the meat and get maximum use out of it, Mr. 3 HP.
I can, but I'm a cokehead.
Okay.
And it's coke.
Okay.
Just
we have somebody who wants to talk to us if we meet her later.
Okay.
So,
Hey, we need to go back to the dorm if we want to talk to her.
Okay. All right. Do we want to spend any more time in here?
depends. If we want to talk to the doctor or we want to talk to Josephine.
I got the feeling the doctor might be a trap. Too eager.
I'm fairly interested to see what's behind the door in the dorm.
Okay. Well, we can always come back here, so.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
So we want to go to the dorm?
Let's go back to the dormitory.
All right. I'm a cannibal. I'm eating the meat in the way. Like
Okay.
it's discarded.
Right. Takes us 2 to get where we're going. And there's E. It's number 19.
I think we all know where we're going to be going once we get here.
Pretty much. There's
Make it
no
up.
reason not to.
And I'm technically time captain, who will shift the group one to the dormitory. Okay. Go ahead and grab items 5 and 18.
Okay.
Since we're all at this location, I'm going to read the card aloud.
Go ahead. 5 and 8.
Let's hurry because I know what will happen to you. The doctor has gone insane. I have this letter that I found as proof, and Josephine isn't much better. No matter what happens, I'd rather you know you to be free than dead. There's an entrance to the catacombs. Find it and flee as quickly as possible. She lowers her head and walks away from you, shocked by what she just did. That explains why we get items 5 and 18,
Yep.
and I'm pretty sure we're going to the promenade next.
February 12th, 1921. Yeah, this is...
Oh.
Dear Professor, I've managed to gather the elements indispensable to the success of our project. In order to operate with the greatest discretion, I've identified 5 patients who should allow us to fulfill the conditions required by our plan. The
5 missing guys.
crypt is accessible.
One of them's dead.
The
One of them's dead.
accessible
The 5 missing people?
via the
Probably.
kiosk. To be faster, Joe, that's why the nurse and the doctor and the park at a kiosk.
Yeah.
To be faster, I found a passage which allows us to reach the park from my office. Wait for them there to guide them to their destination. The great day is close. Dr. Hyacinth. That's the letter. And the other part is...
Oh, fun.
a change
In
to
the
our
plan.
plan.
Going back to the infirmary?
Well, I would say we could just go to the catacombs.
Yeah,
okay.
because now we know the doctor is bad, and Josephine is probably just as bad.
Yeah, I mean, we could go to the promenade if we want.
One of them's dead.
Probably.
We have 15 time units. We probably have...
Well, no, there's a whole 5 people. 5 plus marks, 1 minus. 4 still alive, 1 dead.
Probably.
That makes sense.
So we need to try and break them free. I'm thinking the catacombs will probably test heavy, but the promenade might give us more materials? I don't know.
I mean, there's no shortage of items sitting here still.
So we want to stop by Promenade first, then go to the catacombs?
We've only spent half the time we need, and if we learn that the promenade is a waste and somehow do fail at this rate, we can always know next time don't bother with the promenade.
True. And we will always have that part of the map because there's a time agency tag on it.
Right. So I'm okay with the promenade if y'all want to go to the promenade.
All right, Kevin.
All right, if you'll shift that to the promenade, it's going to cost us 3 time units.
1, 2, 3. For you, sir.
Oh, wow. Oh, double wow.
Despite the glaring sun and the wind whips at your faces and the cold chills your bones, the yard is surrounded by walls high enough to drive any thought of breaking out from your mind. To the left of a small patch of grass, especially set up for it, three people seem to have just finished a croquet game. In the back of the yard, a large gate is guarded by two watchmen, and through it you can spy a park, and its tree-bordered paths. I completely butchered all of that. And to your right, near the wall, a patient in a tuxedo spins around, improvising some sort of choreography.
Okay.
All right, so
Initial thoughts?
fight, and let the chick go there. Yeah.
I mean, we might as well all go there, technically. That's definitely trapped, because we know a different way of going down there probably doesn't involve a fight to get there. That being the crib house. That we don't know necessarily would be a fight, but at the same time,
don't
probably
necessarily
is.
this to be a fight. This might be, they might just turn you back as soon as you get there.
I'm curious to see
It's
what
an
the...
insane asylum.
I'm
more than willing to believe that they're just going to rough us up for trying to even
But here's
approach
the
the
thing.
gate.
Risk equals reward. We might get into some other part of the promenade that way. I'm willing to go there if you are.
To which one?
I
The
never
gate
like,
fight? Or the...
I never like cops.
Okay. Oh, snap.
I need your plunger.
If you own key, you're going to
6.
need a plunger.
I will need the plunger.
Well,
We
you
can
have a
pass
plunger.
items between characters.
So, yeah, I got that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Immediately reveal this. Okay.
Does it say immediately reveal, or does it say you just get that piece?
The piece.
Yeah, we don't immediately reveal it.
Still gotta go to it.
We still have to actually go to it. But what item do I go get?
Where does that go once you...
We have to make a test though.
Oh, I meant...
Okay.
If you own it and can persuade the guards.
Oh, okay.
So we have a 7 shield test to set up.
Where?
With the guards here.
Oh crap! I can't move there till next turn.
Right.
That's
question.
fine.
What do I do with this once?
If it doesn't say
If it doesn't
discard,
discard
you
it,
keep
you
it.
still have it. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4,
Now I'm really glad we got everything out of the lockers.
5, 6, 7.
All right.
Test.
It is. I got a lot of cocaine.
I've only got 2
I do cocaine.
to handle here. Up to you how much you want to spend.
I'm going to spend a cocaine off of the injection kit for now.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and roll mine
Go ahead.
first.
1.
But no skull shields to
Yep.
worry about. It's all right.
And make that 2. That was our time action there. Did we already move this?
No.
Okay, so that's our action there. Alright. So,
If we're staying here, I'm moving over here with you guys to help you out. Or I can try moving over here, but I don't know what's going with that. Or I can just go here.
Risk reward, I say he goes there.
how about he stays with me and you go there?
It's going to take. There's almost no way you can complete this test in this action. But I'm okay with that if you want to shift around. You're the only one taking the test.
How many are there?
1, 2,
Because I wouldn't take.
three,
I wouldn't be able to take the
4,
test until
5.
after I move.
Right.
Or,
Right.
I could theoretically do it.
Okay, well, I guess there is no lock on this test, so I'm able to move away, and I left the
Right.
key with you anyway.
Yep. So, you're moving to me.
To- All right,
I'm
so I will
just
hand you
looking at
this
test,
because you have that test control, and I get to examine this and find out what's going on.
One
Oh! Hold on. I think you're wrong with the immediate reveals. Go ahead and resolve your test.
Okay, I already
if
did.
You did.
I did. Okay.
So can I go or no?
Well, you have to give it a second. We're gonna let Joe look up what he's looking up here.
Oh, did you get it?
No, we've got 4 left
Okay.
to get whatever the hell the item is. Getting the state is just getting the information we need.
Or being able to access the information we need.
Right. Marks and back card.
Because this is going to be one of those cases where I think the card trumps the...
Well, let's see something here. The cards on the back indicate conditions need to be if you not feel you cannot place or move your pawn above the card, and therefore check it. So you would have to actually move to it.
Again, you read earlier, though, that cards
Yeah.
trump rules, and that does say immediately reveal, not add token.
Well, no, it's saying reveal the token for that to be able to access that, because that's what that says too.
That's why I'm trying to find where the tokens are listed in here, to be sure.
Where is it?
Actually,
Oh, no, when a reference is made to a sealed card
says
that you can immediately
immediately
reveal...
reveal.
Hold on,
Okay.
we need to go back to when you were here, because you would have immediately revealed this, which gives you an option,
Okay.
because
Alright,
the
so
option
we'll
would be
wind this back
yours.
a turn.
Yeah, so we still have one shield on here. Well,
You could spend 5. Yeah, there's still 1 shield there. So we're gonna dial this back a turn.
we know that this, if you roll,
Over
you get
does.
that shield.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So you can immediately spend 5 time units. Yep. You can immediately spend 5 time units. If you do, you reveal this card.
Now we're getting risky here, though.
That'll put us at 7.
Yep.
Oh, and in fact, that replaces that card.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm still right here then. What do you guys think?
I would say do it. The worst thing that happens is we run again,
Yeah, and we'd know.
and we have more information.
Okay.
So that's your
That
turn.
immediately reveals.
Yep.
That was stupid.
It was a time waste, wasn't it?
Yep, sure was.
Well,
After circling the plunger, your calves really hurt. That's what it says.
Wow.
That's always
So now we know not to do that again.
that means whatever this is probably that.
Probably. Okay.
So
So
you guys want me to move here, or you want me to?
well, now your action would be to either move here or go to B.
And I would probably go to B in this case, because now that we know,
Okay, so you come to me.
this is something that's just getting used to the rules.
It
folks,
is.
So don't worry too much.
So now I will make my roll against this.
Oh,
This drops to 6.
okay.
3 off of it.
I kind of wish I had him over here, but it's okay.
Okay.
Last 2.
So y'all get an item, I believe.
Yep.
Number 7.
Item number 7. No, item
Nine.
number 9.
Set
It
up.
was a 7 shield test.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Location 8.
Knew it. Different way to get there.
Yeah, location 9.
I've been invited to a game of croquet. Do I stay? Or do we go?
I just want to see the art. Let me cover up the bottom of it.
Here's your art. It's kind of just them still. I know that's kind of hard to see, but it's kind of hard angle to...
I don't see us completing the mission on this run.
We could get really lucky if we go to the catacomb entrance.
We could.
I don't know what winning the game of croquet would bother with. It's a 4 shield test. I have 2. I'd have to doubles. Otherwise, we could just go to the catacombs.
Okay,
We could leave this for next time because we
Okay.
will know to avoid the time
We
waste.
have location 9. You want to try and go through there first?
Well, we know the kiosk in the park is a slow way to get there. The catacomb entrance from the
Office is
wherever office
apparently a
is
faster
faster
way.
out, according to the letter. So that's location 17. You, sir, need to roll. I believe you were the time captain for that.
Yeah.
It takes us 2 to get there.
Cutting close. Okay, I need to put those back there.
Yeah. Well, we knew we were cutting it close when we were like, is this a time waste or not?
Said, what is it?
17.
17.
Lord, how many fucking locations are there?
A
A
few,
lot.
apparently.
You need to try and not reveal
Just
information.
look at the sides. So 17. Alright. That's back around to me.
Yep.
Yeah, and there's some other cards under there that need to get mentioning.
Those are presumably more flashcards of some kind.
I'm guessing.
Hey, guess what? This is all or nothings everywhere. This is where that one girl is really good. Oh, hold on. You forgot to put that in. Oh, that's promenade over here.
Yep, there you go.
Should be C.
You move forward tentatively in this narrow passage that seems endless. Suddenly, you hear a deep breathing interspersed with light growls. You can't go back. The men, the creatures in the tunnel, have spotted you. Be careful the cards one by one. Going off on your own is forbidden. If you do not own the 3-piece pink, so if we don't own that one, we must explore the cards in their natural order.
Well,
Once
we're
the
going to
final-
run out of time units before getting through.
Yeah, once the final card is revealed, head to location 16. If you do own that token, then you would explore them as EDCB, and once the final card is resolved, take item 18. So, let's all die. Okay.
Location B.
There's a fight against some big, ugly, nasty looking. Alright. So this will take a time unit.
We're down to 3.
Yep. So you're actually the best fighter in the group.
Go first, sir.
Well, that sucked. Lose a hit point.
Yep.
I'm the next. Yeah, I'm the next best if I blow some cocaine. So
Alternatively, you can also take the hits.
yeah,
You are a tank.
Yeah. You know what? That's actually for the time being. I will do that. I'm not going to waste the cocaine on it. So I get rid of 1, and I will take a point of damage.
Why?
Because
Oh, I didn't.
You didn't roll a skull.
I didn't roll a skull.
Where did the...
You
I'll
have
double
to
check
roll
that.
a
I'm pretty
skull,
sure.
and so you would take a point of damage because you rolled a skull, and it's more than that. So,
yeah, thank you, pile of cards.
the skull triggers the other skulls. That's the way that works.
Yeah.
No.
It only riposts...
I don't take anything.
Why not?
Just since it's 2. Well, no, it's
It would be 3, yeah.
You only take damage if you roll the skull.
Yeah. So we can't run away.
Or it has different shields that we don't have on this.
So I'll go first, just because I can make it easier on everybody else.
Yeah, and if you don't get a double...
Nothing.
If I take this out, I can regain a health point, which will also be nice.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Hey! Nom nom nom.
Hey.
Noms, it dies. I'll just set it over here for the moment. So, which took a time unit, because we all had to move together. You have reached a door barring the path. The lock seems like it could be picked with a bit of deftness, but if you don't have the patience or the time, a bullet should do the trick. So apparently there was a gun somewhere, but it's a 5 deftness test.
3, 4, 5.
I got 1.
I got
Not a-
1. Let's see here. Yeah, I'll let this one slide because it's your first mission, and apparently a bit of adaptation time is always needed. But for the next run, gang, you're going to need to put in more effort. It's not only your rank that's in play here, but my reputation. Come on, let's get back to it. Don't waste time. Use your brain cells. You're still young. For the next run, keep in mind that your rank will depend directly on your performance. Leave items stamped with the agency symbol in place, but reset all other game elements. Reread cards F and G of the base and follow Laura's instructions, then head off on another run.
So that stays in, but this one does not.
Correct. One goes away.
Items. Here, hand me the items and I'll put the items back where they need
Where's
to
the-
be.
And we'll be back.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. We are defeated, but we are inspired. Yes, I said inspired, folks, because when a game gets as mental as this, and you get the juices flowing, you really do have confidence that you can take another crack at it and win. I think we have a game plan for next time, don't we, Mike?
I think we do.
You think?
I think.
We think.
It,
Nothing is settled. That's one of the greatnesses of this game, if anything.
Yeah. It's a really interesting, brain-burny kind of thing. I can safely say it's unlike any other board game I've ever played in my life.
Yes.
And at this point,
Hands down.
we've played a few on this show. Space Cowboys, the publishers of the game, have knocked it out of the park as far as a unique concept. It feels... Maybe the best analogy for it is it's a really highly evolved choose-your-own-adventure novel.
Yeah, I can see that working.
So, I mean, that's sort of the way it feels to me.
And some of the investment depends on what group of people you have going into it. We looked at it more on the Mystery Enigma side, but I mean, if you want to do a little bit more role play than what we did, then perhaps you'd get a little bit more immersion value out of it. I know there are some folks who are going to be worried about the replayability since it kind of isn't replayable in some regards with the same group of people.
Well,
But
I think the way they put the game together, that's one of the really ingenious parts of Time Stories, because if you look at it, on its surface, once we've completed the Asylum, myself, you, and Will, we can't play that adventure again. We know how it ends. We know where to go. We know what to do. It would be the equivalent of, it's like at that point trying to speed run Legend of Zelda. You know where everything is, so you just go and do it. However, the base game, which I have to applaud the design, just the design, the actual aesthetics of the game, it's very minimalistic. It's very clean.
follow instructions and you get where you need to go.
Well, not even that, just about the visuals of it. Just a very clean, simple look, so that you really do kind of get the feel, the overall impact of the game gives you the feel of you are a time-traveling cop, essentially. Detective. But the individual...
To stress the mystery, because it kind of needs the stress.
But the individual cases, the individual adventure modules, give you the feel of that setting. And when we're done with the Asylum, everyone will get the Asylum. If you buy the base box, you get the Asylum. It's the packed-in adventure. But if you've got a group of players, a group of gamers, and there's more than one copy of Time Stories floating around, there's nothing really stopping it from saying, our group just got done playing the Marcy case, which was the expansion that came out when the game did. It was released the same day. I've got the Marcy case, but let's say Dave and his bunch of buddies are playing it too, and they've got Under the Mask, which is the Egyptian adventure. There's nothing saying when we're not done, we can just swap decks.
But there's also the fact that even if you don't have a large group of friends who might play or might be interested in playing this, and that could be part of the problem as well. Some people may just not be interested in this style of game. It's fair. But if you get this game, even if you just get the base game, if you treat it like an interactive movie more than anything, I mean, think about it that way, and then break it down with how many players you have, and you're not spending nearly as much as an actual movie in the theaters. Well, I mean, barring matinees, sales, yada yada. But in general, if you treat it in that way, because you could get this on sale for that matter just as easily sometimes.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, depends on your outlets, your finds on eBay, etc. If you think about it that way, the cost is not the barrier here.
It really
It's more on the interest levels of you and your group of players and whether or not this game will scratch an itch that y'all want it to scratch.
A lot of people are going to look at the money part of this game, and this is my thought on it. Before we ever played it, before the camera started rolling, even for the intro, we had talked about it being, like a cousin to the Legacy games. It's not a Legacy game, but it's like a second cousin. And, if you look at a game like that, a Legacy game, using Pandemic Legacy as an example, that game...
Yeah, it is behind us. If you've ever noticed, that's actually what that is.
Yes, that's the board. Pandemic Legacy runs about, $50, $60 depending on where you buy it, but you're going to get 12 gameplays out of that minimum. So let's say, just for the sake of argument, it was a $60 buy for you, 12 games. Would you be willing to pay $5 per experience? And if you've got the full complement of players, plus, somebody there like we did with Joe,
that's easily
that's $1 a piece.
3 hours.
Yeah, and it's $1 per person per playthrough. So, and each playthrough's, anywhere from 45 minutes to 2 or 3 hours. With this, we've played it once. We failed.
It is what it is.
Yeah, we're gonna play it again, and any subsequent playthroughs we get of it, then that's multiple playthroughs out of the same, basically $25 module. I'm saying that the module itself is $25, and then all of the trappings, the board, the bits, and all that's another $25. So it was $50 when I bought it.
Right.
And the individual
you need the base set stuff for the expansions.
Right. And each story is $25. So is it worth it to you to get 2 or 3 plays, or more, as the case may be, per story for $25? Like you said, go to the movies. You're going to drop $40 plus food and drink
For a group of 4.
For a group of 4 to go to see a 90-minute to 2-hour movie. In Time Stories, you're going to do that, but you're going to be spending $25 or $50 for the original base set for an interactive experience. It's not for everybody. If you want light, stay the hell away.
Oh, yeah. This is dark and gritty, folks. This is dark and gritty.
Well, yeah, just part of it, the storyline. The storyline of the base game is kind of brutal.
We've seen not only 1920s Asylum, so the whole cocaine thing really wasn't a joke. That was literally medicine back then. But the disturbed individuals who are our characters, the disturbed environment that is just an asylum before we got into all this eldritch nonsense.
Yes. And you have it light or dark and gritty just from a stylistic standpoint. From a rule standpoint, if you want a light game, say Zombie Dice, don't play this.
The rules aren't difficult. They're fairly forward-following. We had one little hiccup where we actually had to go back to the rule book and just make sure that things were working the proper way. But really, that was, if we followed the card initially in the first place, it was right. So, it may not be light, but the rules are definitely simple and clear, and even the rule book says, what is it?
It is the receptacle trumps an item trumps a location trumps the base, and the base trumps the book.
Right. So it gives you a clear line of indication that if something is said differently on a card, depending on where that card is in the hierarchy, you follow that card. Yeah. But any card in that regard are going to trump the rule book. So if you read the card and you understand what it's saying, follow the card. And it becomes very simple. So it may not be light, but not highly complex either in some regards.
It's one of my favorite things about games in general. My favorite types of board games are the games where the rules do not get in the way of having a good game. And in this case, the rules are very clear, very simple. The challenge comes from the game itself and the decisions you make. It doesn't come from overcoming poorly written, unbalanced rules. So, and it joins an elite list of games that fall into that category, which we've played a few of lately. So,
overall, I look forward to coming back to this, but I also look forward to being in the room and being able to observe if we get some other groups to play it.
Yeah, that would be pretty interesting, and I don't know if that's something you're wanting to do or not, but it might be pretty cool at some point to
be the talking heads and not spoil anything.
Yeah, have someone else come in and have 3 other poor schmucks or 4 other poor schmucks play the game other than you, I, and William, and see how they handle it.
What they do differently and how they go about things.
For a lot of you folks out there, you might have played the Asylum already and be watching us and going, those schmucks. We got it the first time and had like 15 time units left. And if that's the case, go screw yourself, folks. I don't know how you did it. But
the way it pieced together, I don't think anyone did it with 15 time units there without being royally spoiled beforehand anyway.
Right.
As it stands, we got an idea for next time, so maybe we can pull that off. But it's definitely going to be an experience both as a player, and I guarantee whether you've played it before yourselves and are getting that feeling now, or whether we subject some, as you put them, poor schmucks to playing it in our presence, definitely looking forward to the observation role and just seeing how other people handle it and whether or not they get into character.
Yeah.
Because I started to do that early on, and then it just kind of fell by the wayside because we all just focused on the mental part of the game, and I kind of lost it.
Well, the funny thing to me, because I noticed you going into character, and I was in my head was actually going from it. I was initially in character too, but I think our characters were different.
You were playing a cop transplanted.
Yeah,
I was playing.
You're playing
the transplant because we want to put everything in her point of view since we're in her mind.
Yeah, and in my head it was I'm taking over the body. I was looking at it like Scott Bakula in Quantum Leap. Where it's me and my personality in just this other body. So, but overall, I recommend it. If you want an interactive storytelling experience, it's a role-playing game without a GM.
The game is the GM.
Yeah, it's a murder mystery. It's like the old How to Host a Murder Mystery boxes.
Oh, man. Those bring back memories.
It's stuff like that. It's really puzzly, really brain-burny, and really thematic, and you get really invested really quick. So it's a lot of fun.
All right, folks, that'll wrap up this episode of Rage Quit Radio. Please do join us again. Don't know when we'll air the next one, but we're probably going to get back to this today and at least try one more playthrough, see if we can't pull out that victory. But, whether that happens today or not for us, and whether or not it happens to be back for y'all, we will be back to Time Stories.
Yes.
I can guarantee that. Thank you for tuning in to Rage Quit Radio. This is Joe and Mike, and we will see y'all next time.